The Tusas Fire started at approximately 4 p.m. on April 22, 2026. When the Northern New Mexico Type 3 Incident Management Team took command of the fire, their focus was on suppressing the fire, protecting property, and evacuating residents whose lives might be in danger. They were presented with a challenge when it was discovered that a local resident's goats had escaped and were lost somewhere within the fire perimeter.
For us, these are truly like members of the family. Everybody was gone. My guardian dogs were gone. My goats were gone. We couldn't go very far up into the forest to call for them. There was so much noise from the wind and the fire and the crews working. We know now that this was like the main thoroughfare for bulldozers and tanks and just lights and chaos and crew, and they probably just started following the crew because it's what felt safe.
And on Friday, about 07:30, the landowner from the Sweet Pea Ranch pulled up to Division Zulu, and she got out of her car and she was looking for her goats. She shared that there was about 20 goats that were about to kid. She was really concerned with their well-being, and I spread the word that we were looking for a white dog, and the goats would probably be with that white dog. And at about noon, I could really see the hurt in the owner's face of her missing goats, the concern of it. That really got to me and A-Rod at that time.
As we kind of spread the word to the firefighters that were on the line, and midpoint through the shift, one of the crews had called on the radio and said that they heard barking in the burned area. So one of the superintendents from the hotshot crews was able to spot them with some binoculars, and we got up on a high point and were able to kind of locate them. We called the landowner. One of the other individuals that was here let him in, and we were able to bring them up to the goats. A few of us helped push the goats down the hill and back to the house, and yeah, they were really happy. Not only were the crews able to kind of herd the fire away from the house, but we're also able to kind of bring the livestock back to them. So overall, it was a good day.
I get a call, two separate calls, one from Adriano, one from Tony, and they're like, "We see your goats."
And at that time, we organized myself and the landowner to go up the hill and find where the goats are at.
The goats had gone behind the fire line and were basically perched on the highest point of our property. But they were so freaked out. They were with their 3 dogs. They would not come. Tony finally grabbed a collar and they all started following Tony. And he's in all of his fire gear and he's like herding the goats, and the dogs are there and they came running, and it was just like the most incredible moment.
The smile and the joy in the landowner's face when the goats got back home was something more refreshing than, catching fires like this for myself.
Some of the command staff of the Northern New Mexico Type 3 team were able to visit with the homeowner after the goats and dogs had been successfully returned.
So we're just in shock, because I think we know how easily this outcome could have been completely opposite, and had they not been so willing to keep their eyes out and communicate with each other, they absolutely could have missed that the goats were up there, and I have no idea where they would be. There was no water for them for 2 days. Several of them are about to have babies. We're expecting our first babies on Friday. Like, there's so much kindness, and there's so much bravery, and there's so much strength working on this mountain right now. We just feel really humbled by the whole thing.